Good day, Magic Maker. Today's video is going to be a little bit longer, but for good reason. It's going to help you understand me more deeply, and more importantly than that, it's going to help you understand yourself more clearly. And in this video, podcast, whatever you're watching, reading, or listening to this, I'm going to share my origin story, at least the important parts of it and the highlights of it. And I'm going to follow that up with a creative coaching process to help you uncover and share the depths of your own origin story, life experiences, and wisdom. So let's dive in. Early beginnings, the heart of an entrepreneur. Ever since I was little, I have had the entrepreneurial spirit running through my veins. As a kid, I was always dreaming up ideas to earn extra money for the things I wanted, from backyard driving ranges to magnet on a string coin collecting schemes to being the guy who would pick up the phone and call 14 friends after school to organize big road hockey or capture the flag games before the internet existed. I was and still am a man of inspired action. But it wasn't until I dropped out of college at 20 to start my first business that my natural way of being became my life's path, and creative ideas became how I get paid in the world. And I'm not sure if you know this, but do you know those moments that change everything in your life? Mine came one night in my early 20s, walking home drunk and angry. I'd just gotten into a fist fight with my own face. This is a literal true story. The reason being, I'd come to hate myself because I had become everything I always swore I would never be. And with desperation and despair, I dropped to my knees in the middle of the street and prayed to whatever higher powers were listening to show me a better path. The next morning, I wrote a letter to myself that would become my guiding compass. I will create a life I am proud of, and I will do work I am proud of. And that's when I lit a match, literally. I gathered up all of the offensive, degrading t-shirts from my first business, which was called Man Shirts. Yes, that was a thing. And I burned them on a beach in a ritualistic bonfire. Not the most eco-friendly rite of passage, but it was my line in the sand. I was done creating garbage, and I wanted to make magic. I didn't know how I was going to do it, just like you may not know how your whole vision's going to come together. But I had a feeling, and I now had a sense of where I wanted to go with my life. And that was my turning point. I've spent the last 20 plus years turning inspiration into impact. And I'm not going to share a few of the highlights with you because I want you to see what's possible when you align your life, energy, passions, and income around what truly matters most to you and what you love to do. So, first thing, I went viral before it was cool. In 2007, I uploaded my very first YouTube video, and it was called The Gratitude Dance. It was goofy, fun, and it exploded. Overnight, my buddy and I were touring North America as the Gratitudes, getting featured in magazines, TV, radio, conferences, and even in a documentary called Beyond Belief. We launched a hit podcast called Manifesting Awesomeness and got to interview Louise Hay, Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton, and a whole lot of other spiritual luminaries. And we even signed a book deal with Hay House, which got pulled the week before publishing because one of their biggest authors didn't want us teaching the same topic. Long but true story. You know that whole abundance thing that all the spiritual teachers teach? Apparently, when you teach a similar topic, that abundance thing doesn't apply anymore. So that was an extremely heartbreaking moment, and it destroyed all the momentum that we've been building the previous couple years. And you know, in hindsight, all things said and done, it became a gift because it pushed me deeper into myself, made me stronger, and motivated me to build success on my terms. So since then, I've stopped waiting for permission. Instead, I keep creating, finding aligned relationships, and I let my work speak for itself. After the Gratitudes fizzled, I went on to teach 500 plus meditation workshops and retreats around the world without any formal training. I went within and found my power in my presence. So after moving back from Canada, when I was living in LA in 2008, I started leading informal meditation sessions for a group of friends. They just said, "Hey, we've seen this big transformation you've just gone through. What do you do?" And I said, "Meditation." They said, "Can you teach a group?" So that small group quickly grew in my local Victoria, BC community and abroad. And within 3 years, I'd led over 500 Cowabunga meditations and was guiding spiritual adventure retreats in Tofino, Hawaii, Mexico, Peru, and beyond. I taught what I practiced, learned, and discovers through my own transformational experiences, and a result, people's lives changed in magical ways. Eventually, because I didn't really sign up to be a meditation teacher, it was something that just sort of happened for me, and eventually I grew tired of teaching meditation, so I began recording the techniques I developed into an audio meditation library. Bunch of work and a few rejection letters later, I licensed the full library to MindValley and became their top meditation teacher for 6+ years in a row. Those same meditations have now reached millions of meditators through licensing deals with some of the biggest meditation apps and platforms, generating over $500,000 of purely passive income without ever needing to grow my own meditation audience. Not a single social media post required. And now I help others get their life's work licensed. Talk about leverage. I then co-created the most gamified course on the internet. Not my words, those are the words of somebody else, which I'll get into in a moment. So from the success of my meditation library, I transitioned to full-time business coaching in 2015. I decided to team up with my buddies Andy and Blair to create the Great E-Course Adventure, which was, imagine, an Indiana Jones meets Saturday Night Live business development course where we teach you to build the greatest online course you could possibly imagine. It was, and still is, epic. I'm still proud of what we built. We filmed everything on green screen, hilarious characters taught the lessons, we designed an actual adventure map students would hang up on their walls at home, we built our own digital currency called the Bajillion, we built a badging system that were backpack supplies, our online forum was the campfire, we even coined the term themification, the art of turning boring courses into epic story-driven adventures. Justin Fairman, who's the founder of LearnDash, called our training the best use of gamification I've ever seen in online learning. We didn't just teach people how to create better courses, we made learning fun again for both the teachers and students alike. This is also when Majik Media's creative agency was launched, and we've since supported dozens of clients to build their dream offerings by combining creativity, strategy, community, tech, gamification, and storytelling. Sound fun? You can learn more at the link that's in this post. Then, I left social media and grew my business without it. In 2016, after years of hating my social media experience, algorithm fatigue, and watching the Great Divide take place where humanity starts to destroy itself, I deleted all my social media accounts. No soft exit, no find me elsewhere posts, just gone. Disappeared. Honestly, I get into the story in my workshop that I teach around this, but I felt erased, and it was one of the best decisions I have ever made because it forced me to learn how to leverage and nurture relationships with other aligned humans. I focused on building a real village in my life, my community, and then in my business. This has transformed the way I do business and approach marketing. Since then, I've grown multiple six-figure businesses, reached millions of people, and built plenty of epic, profitable, thriving online and in-person village-like community spaces without using social media. And you can too. I now know that we don't need tens of thousands of followers and fans. We can literally build a thriving, successful business that aligns with our passions with just a handful of strategically aligned relationships. And that learning journey has now become a semi-famous workshop called Thriving in Business Without Social Media, which has helped thousands of entrepreneurs like you unplug from the noise and reconnect with what really matters and actually works: relationships. I highly recommend you watch it as soon as you possibly can. Link is in wherever you're watching or listening to this or reading it. I then created an audio entertainment and fair pay publishing company and Majik Kids app with my son, Soren. So Soren's unschooling, that's the way we're doing it for him. And he's grown up with limited screen time. He still listens to audio stories, but he essentially gets one show per week. And what we noticed was audio stories were these amazing ways for him to expand his imagination, to open himself up to incredible storytelling experiences. And we just saw the way over the years that screen time smothered out the light and audio stories enhanced the light and open imagination. And growing up, every night before bed, Soren would ask me, "Hey, Papa, tell me a pretend story." And so we'd make up a story. Eventually, we started writing them down and recording them. One of them, which was called The Master's Apprentice, sparked something to me, and I wanted to publish it. But I didn't want to wait 3 years to get it to market and lose 90% of the revenue and get, no help marketing it, which is welcome to traditional publishing. And so we built our own kids publishing company called Majik Kids. In the first few years, we raised $250,000 of investment capital, and I personally put in about $500,000 of my own money. And as a result, we have built a world-class company, hired my dream team of artists, worked with the Harmer brothers, which was a dream for me, to produce 31 comedy ads, and launched the best audio entertainment platform we could possibly dream of. And today we've curated and created a library of 18 beautiful illustrated books, a massive library of 50 plus movies for the ears, audio stories, a writer's room and story engine that keeps on creating 800 plus original kids songs and imagination meditations, a wildly creative curriculum that comes with every story, 31 comedy ads that have 2 million plus organic views, the Majik Kids app, which is a story button for kids that was inspired by my son, and dozens of huge licensing partnerships to schools, apps, and global companies. And I will say, the time of making this video, July 2025, we're just getting started. It's been such a wild and incredible ride to build this company. Now, 2024, we launched a new sport that is now becoming a movement. So I've been playing and refining the rules of a fast-paced, flow-inducing handball game for over a decade using a hand-woven wicker ball. The game's called Chi Ball. Over the years, we've developed the simple rule system, a playful culture rooted in inclusivity, and sourced the most beautiful hand-woven wicker balls that we could find. And it's been such a joyful ride. So I ended up teaming up with my good friend Mike Rogers in 2024. He had previously sold his last business as it was homesteading and figuring out what his next big thing is. And he finally agreed after me courting him for a couple years to partner up on Play Chi Ball because I really saw the potential in it. And now we are turning this joyful backyard game into a global movement that Chi Ballers can play anywhere with anyone. So Chi Ball is the most effortlessly sellable thing I've ever created. People see it, play it once, and they're hooked. I can't even tell you the amount of delight I experience when someone purchases a $30 Chi Ball, knowing how much joy and connection they'll experience as a result. So now I have a new mission, and it's to play my way to selling millions of Chi Balls and to unite the world through movement, presence, and play. This is the funnest, most satisfying business I have ever launched. I thought Kids Stories was the funnest, most satisfying business, but truthfully, Chi Ball is, because it's just the best. All we do is have fun and play. And we even made a hip hop anthem for the game called I'm a Chi Baller. You can check it out on our YouTube channel at Play Chi Ball, Chi, C-H-I. And our most effective marketing strategy is to do flash mob events out in public spaces where we bring tons of Chi Balls, a big party box speaker from JBL that plays tons of beats, and we just create parties where there was no party moments ago. And it's been absolutely amazing. And I feel like, I'm 20 plus years in as a full-time entrepreneur, and I've definitely had my fair share of struggles and hardships and amazing successes and setbacks and all the things you can possibly imagine for 20 plus years of carving my own way. And I feel blessed. We've launched dozens of binge-worthy trainings, supported clients in generating millions of dollars, coached thousands of entrepreneurs, created thriving community spaces, produced viral comedy videos, experimented with countless business models, ran the Magic Mind coaching community for years and years and years, and so much more. Not to mention, in the process of my business accomplishments, I've played 3,000 plus rounds of golf in the last dozen years, competed professionally on the Vancouver and Canadian tour, been a devoted adventure dad every day, present husband, and I've led a men's group for almost 7 years. I'm aligning my daily actions with living my dream life now, not later, because life is short. We just don't know how many more breaths we get to breathe. I have committed to aligning my passions with how I get paid for 20 plus years, never selling out. Sure, it's been hard, but the struggles that I have endured for my dreams have been for my dreams, not someone else's. And that's a big difference maker. So the moral of the story, if there is one, is you don't need to follow someone else's blueprint, not even mine. You just need a clear vision and aligned strategy and the creative fire to get shit done. And most importantly, the courage to believe in yourself enough to walk your own path, which is scary because there's no blueprint when you're walking your own path. You're following your instincts, you're following your heart, you're following your compass, you're following the synchronicity, magic, and the clues. And so with that, I thank you for walking down memory lane with me, and hopefully you can see how my creative, unorthodox path as an entrepreneur can serve and support you. There's a lot that I've done that I didn't list here, and there's a lot that I can help you with because I have such a vast amount of experience in so many different directions. So now it's time for you to write your origin story too. So if you were to look back on the last bunch of years of your life, there have been some powerful experiences, profound moments, trainings you took, epiphanies you had, and things that really shaped your life and supported you to step into the work that you are doing right now or that you're stepping into in this chapter. And there's nothing more powerful than a great story. So for the next 30 minutes, you're going to go through a wee bit of a creative process where you pull out some of those key moments and milestones from your journey, just like I did. So the first thing is your low points. You're going to make a list of some of the low points in your life journey, the oh shit moments that forced your life in a new direction or showed you what you're made of. Describe them in detail. What emotions were felt? What decisions were made? How did you get through it? Our hardships can act as a life raft to others going through similar circumstances. Next, once you've done that, you're going to look into turning points. So you're going to make a list of your most life-changing moments or decisions. These are the turning point choices you made, epiphanies had, tools you learned at just the right moment. They could be mentors who came into your life, leaps of faith you took, and you're going to highlight these turning points that changed everything for you. Next, your high points. With those other two lists in mind, what are some of your proudest accomplishments? These don't need to be just work related. They could be personal. They could be goals that you set out to achieve. They could be impossible feats you accomplished. Whatever it is. They could be the way that you chose to raise your kids. They could be who you become as a result of risks you took or changes you made. They could be success you found along the way. They could be what you've gone on to do since those turning points or those low points in your life. Even client case studies or bucket list adventures you've had would be great to share. Next, lessons learned. So what are some of the most important life lessons you've learned through your transformational life journey? If you could share a list of things you wish every person paying attention to your work could know and embody, what would that list be? And then the philosophy, your school of thought. Based on your life experiences, what do you stand for? What do you know to be true? For me, I'm here to spread joy to the world. That's become very clear in the last several years of launching Majik Kids and spreading joy through stories and music and meditations to kids. And it's become very clear through launching Play Chi Ball and spreading joy through movement, rallies, and making friends with strangers. Like, my mission is clear. I am here to spread joy, which is a pretty freaking fun thing to do. And through the business coaching I do, I'm here to spread joy by empowering other creators, teachers, healers, coaches who are here to transform the lives of others so that those others can also experience more joy in their lives. And I can just see the ripple effects in all of the work that I do and everything I'm putting out into the world through all of my streams. I am in alignment. Alignment is the key, and that's why answering these questions helps you to align with the people that are meant for your work. So, how do you live your life philosophy in practice every day? Once you go through these questions and write your answers, see if these stories are woven through your bio, messaging, website, content strategy, and business model. You could even create a manifesto or philosophy page like I do on my website. You can check those out by going over to my About section at majikmedia.com, M-A-J-I-K, media.com. And I would just encourage you today, lean more into your stories. They will inspire others. They are important. That's why we go through hardships. Share those stories with others. And if you want to leverage the power of storytelling, if you go to my course library, we have a 12-week or a course that helps you create a 12-week content marketing strategy with storytelling. And that might be a perfect next step for you once you've mapped this out. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it was inspiring. Remember, these coaching processes only work if you do the work. So no doom scrolling tonight. Just get creatively inspired. This is life-changing and life-aligning shit here. So thanks for tuning in. Looking forward to the next one with you. Let me know in the comments, how did this help you?